All right, P90X2 is a 90-day program and the follow-up and sequel to P90X. You're led once again by fitness trainer Tony Horton, who at this point has become a celebrity after the fame and the selling of P90X. So he's back and he's got all of his old corny jokes, but really the value of Tony Horton is his expertise and his ability to motivate you and inspire you to keep going. He's also really good at doing corrections and, in every workout, there's three people doing the workout and he's there correcting their form. And as he's correcting their form, it's also a reminder to yourself to correct your own form. So P90X2 is an at-home workout like P90X. And I'm not going to go over that again about why that's beneficial to me, but mainly because I work at home and it's just easier to go downstairs, pop in a DVD or stream it online at Beachbody Demand, and you can just do these workouts in your own house. Once again, P90X2 is based on muscle confusion 2, which is this idea that you can break through plateaus and you can have enhanced performance through the use of segmentation and periodization. And in this case, P90X2 has the muscle confusion of P90X2 is referred to as muscle integration. And we'll talk about that as we go through. But that muscle integration is how is your shoulder connected to your core and your chest is connected to your abs, and your abs are connected to your hips, and how that kinetic chain all works. And what P90X2 does is it really works your kinetic chain throughout every move, every workout, every exercise. And that's the added value of P90X2. It still has the segmentation and periodization from P90X. So segmentation, the idea of, one day you're doing upper body training, the next day you're doing lower body training, then maybe you're doing some yoga or total body training. So you're separating your how you're training so you can maximize your energy for that day. And then the periodization, which is you're training in phases. So you have 3 phases or 4 or 5. You can get really, by the way, there's so much versatility in the training phases. But I'll just show you a quick. It comes with 3 standard phases here. Phase 1 is your foundational phase. Phase 2 is your strength phase. And phase 3 is your performance phase. And I'm not going to get into that too much here. Maybe I'll explore that in other videos. But through periodization, you break through plateaus even further, and you allow your body to. It doesn't allow your body to adapt so quickly over time. Okay, and that's what allows you to break through and have these sort of excellent performances while breaking through plateaus. There is some additional equipment needed in P90X2. You need your pull-up bar, of course. Bands or dumbbells for these strength workouts. Either is fine. I used to be a big proponent of dumbbells. Nowadays, I can use bands or dumbbells. I feel happy doing either one of them. A stability ball. So you'll see here Tony's holding the stability ball. So a big thing like that, big ball. A foam roller and a yoga mat, also medicine balls. And that's where the muscle integration comes from. The idea behind P90X2 is you're training with these balls so you don't have a stable surface, and that instability allows you to use these different stabilizer muscles, and that allows you to strengthen your kinetic chain. They're more, even though there's segmentation in it, you're using more of your body in every workout, okay? And that's the value here. You need a yoga mat for yoga and for stretch day, and a foam roller. Foam roller is really integrated into the workouts. You could substitute if you just had towels, or maybe if you had a Bosu ball at home, or chairs. A good sturdy workbench is helpful if you have that, a workout bench. And then lastly, you get the fitness guide, which looks like this. That's Tony Horton doing a pull-up. But the fitness guide is great, and it has all kinds of information about, all these million-dollar words I just threw around, like stabilization and segmentation and periodization and what it all means. But there's a great on page 27 image here of what that periodization looks like and how you're able to break plateau. You see that trending up. So there's some good explanation in this about the value and the science behind it. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go too deep into each workout or, go move by move, but what I will do is talk about what's in the workout, what you can expect. Um, Now I have these workouts on DVD, and so that's what I'm going to be showing you here. The first disc is watch this first, which is I think it's about 12 or 13 minutes long, and it's similar to the previous one where Tony's just walking you through what's in the um, what's in the program, what's expected, how you should go about doing it, how you should take care of yourself, and make sure you're getting enough sleep and you're eating right and you're not starving yourself of calories because that can cause a lot of problems. And he's actually really motivational through it. It's a little bit salesy, a tad bit preachy, but pretty good. Tony is generally really good, and it's great to experience Tony Horton as a trainer. Okay, so that's the first disc. All right, now the next disc is P90X2 X2 core. And what you see here in the picture is Tony using a stability ball. And this workout, it is what it says it is. It's a core focused workout. And that sort of matches like the idea of phase one. Phase one, you're doing foundational training. And I'm not going to get too deep into that, but the idea of foundational training is you want to have a solid base and foundation. So if you're in a canoe or a kayak, you can stand up in the canoe and launch yourself out like a rocket ship. That's what Tony would say. Now X2 core, you're using the stability ball a lot. By the way, I have the added benefit right now. I'm right in the middle of this program, and I'm just gonna be looking at my tracker. I started this a few months ago, and I'm doing it in a different way, but these are still fresh in my mind. So with X2 core, you're using the stability ball a lot, but you're also doing a lot of like just moves where you're in Sphinx or you're in plank, and he's got you twisting your body around and using your own body weight against you. Okay, move like half angel where you're in side plank and you're imagine being in side plank and you've got your arm and then you're doing knee to elbow, things like that. Okay, you're really you're utilizing the ball, doing different kinds of push-ups. And when you're doing stability ball push-ups, you don't have the benefit of having a solid earth underneath you, so you're sort of shaking the whole time you're doing that. And there's moves like core circles where you're on the stability ball and you're torquing your body around. It's really targeting your abs and your core. You're also using medicine balls a lot here. So where you're doing different kinds of plyometric push-ups off the medicine balls, and also burpees on one leg using the medicine balls, which is really challenging, and you're working your stabilizer muscles in a very extreme way. Let's just say it that way. This is a very extreme workout. You're also doing a lot of like one leg lunge jumps, things like that. So it's not just all targeted your core, but your hips. I mean, your hips and your quads and your butt are all part of your core, so they're connected, and that's more of that exploring and using your kinetic chain. All right, that is P90X2 core. P90X2 plioside is the next disc. Now, this is predominantly a lower body workout where you're jumping using your legs, or you're doing fast feet, or you're doing some kind of squat jump or lunge jump, and that's essentially what plioside is. Now, what's different about P90X2 plioside is this is the first disc out you use that has the PAP, or as they call it, post-activation potentiation. And I'll get into more of what that means later, but the idea behind PAP or PAP, I just refer to it as PAP. The idea with PAP is if you do a strength move like a one-legged squat, you're activating the muscles in that one leg in a certain way. You're telling your body and your brain, you need this power right now, okay? So you do a bunch of like strength reps like that. And then the second move of the series is a jump move, okay? So it might be some kind of squat jump or lunge jump. And what the science behind PAP tells us is that um, training in this fashion activates your muscles and your cells in a way that it wouldn't normally be activated. So the idea is strength move followed by a plyometric move or a jumping move. And this allows you to get more athletic gains and benefits, okay? And that sounds probably like a long-winded explanation, but it's all in this book, the fitness guide. Okay, and then what you do after those two moves is it's all a matter of perspective of how do you get additional value. So in a typical series of plyoside, you're gonna have that strength move, then a jumping move, and then some kind of fast twitch speed move, like fast feet, kind of like what the football players do, or some kind of hopping around, like real quick hops. And this is an excellent workout. It's about 56 minutes long, and it's will really tire you out, and you'll burn a ton of calories. You'll burn easily 400 calories doing this. What I forgot to mention is the kinds of warm-ups and cool-downs that are in these workouts. With X2 core and plyoside, and really the whole program, you do a very extended warm-up at the beginning where you're taking that big stability ball and you're moving your body from side to side. You're stretching your core by holding it up in the air, and you're doing lunges and different atlas moves. So there's a sequence of moves at the beginning that you do with the stability ball, and then you foam roll for 3 minutes. And you're generally foam rolling whatever you're doing that day. So for core, you're foam rolling your back and your legs. If you're doing plyoside, you're pretty much foam rolling your legs. Okay, and then after that foam rolling, there's a series of stretches that you do. My favorite one is he calls it the world's greatest stretch, where you're sort of like doing a right angle lunge, and then your hand up, and then you do it to the other side, and you keep switching. And you really get your legs and your core stretched out. So the warm-ups are great in these workouts, and then the cool downs, especially in this one, he's got a cool down where you do what's called neuro-integrated stretching. And once again, in the fitness guide, there's a long explanation about what neuro-integrated stretching is and what the benefits are behind it. But basically, you're stretching with the bands, and you're using opposites against each other. So you're pushing and you're pulling at the same time, and that's stretching different parts of your legs or different parts of your body. And so it's a really long, extended, like a 10-minute cool down and stretch. And I really enjoy that part of it. So that is P90X2 plyoside. Okay, the next disc is P90X2 or X2 total body. And then also you'll see that X2 ab ripper is on this disc too. So this is what it says it is. It's a total body workout, and it follows a formula. You do 6 moves, and the 6 moves, the order are chest. So you're doing presses. By the way, you're using the stability ball. You're doing a pull-up. You're doing a push-up sidearm balance. You're doing another press. And then you're doing a Warrior 3 kickback and a Warrior 3 curls. Okay, and then after that, similar order. So you're doing a push-up, a pull-up, a burpee, a press, a kickback, and a curl. Okay, and then you repeat that. So total, there are 24 moves. And you're doing a lot of it on one leg. Okay, so you're doing your left leg, and then you're doing your right leg in the second half. And this one is 62 minutes long. It's a long workout, and it's a grueling workout to get through. And I like to use like lighter weights because you're in these really awkward Warrior 3 positions for a lot of it, or you're doing these moves in a lunge. and so you're using your whole kinetic chain, and it feels like you're just grueling working on your body. And I like this workout a lot. For me, it comes up on Wednesdays in that phase, and I can use dumbbells or bands, and I've got my pull up bar going, and you just feel like you're getting a really excellent workout. The feeling of P90X2, by the way, is different. I'll talk about this a little bit more at the end, but it feels like you're training for an event. It doesn't feel like you're working out or exercising. It feels like you're in a camp almost, like you're in football camp or basketball camp, like you're training for a big event. And I think that's a really cool feeling overall. So P90X2 total body gives you that feeling. There is that really good extended warm up at the beginning that I think it's about 15 minutes long. Yeah, 14 minutes and 40 seconds per my sheet. So a really long warm up and a really long cool down of 8 minutes. And I do them. I always do the long warm ups and the cool downs. And in fact, I like the warm up in P90X2 total body so much. I recorded myself doing it once, so I've got that handy on my phone. If I ever feel like I would rather pull out and do a P90X2 warm up, I do that one. And sometimes I'll just do that warm up and I'm doing some completely other different workout. So that's a great benefit to P90X2. All right, now the next disc is X2 yoga. And of course, yoga is controversial. So um, here's what I can say about P90X2 yoga. I like it. Uh, it's not my favorite yoga, but it's definitely a go-to yoga. It's about 65 minutes long, and it's really what Tony says at the beginning is we're going to get back to basics, and we're just going to do a lot of power yoga. And so um, it's a lot of vinyasas, and a vinyasa is where you do the whole, you do a swan dive, you go down in a plank, you do an upward dog, then you do a push up to downward dog, and then you come back up. And sometimes you're going up into warrior one or warrior two. But at the beginning, there's a whole bunch of vinyasas where you're doing warrior ones. And what that does is that really gets you loose, um, and it gets you sweating, and it makes you stronger because you don't even realize that you're doing a lot of push-ups. Okay, that's why I like yoga. It's calming for the mind. You don't realize you're working out really hard, but you are, and you're gonna burn a bunch of calories doing it. There's not a lot of the standing postures in this one. You're gonna do a lot of vinyasas for about 40 minutes. You're gonna do a quick ab routine and then a quick stretch at the end, and it's over in 65 minutes. And that's why I like this yoga a lot. All right, now there's a third total body / core workout right away, and it's called X2 Balance and Power. Of the three, X2 Core and X2 Total Body and Balance and Power, this is my favorite of the three. And what Tony says is this is the core synergistics of P90X2. Okay, you'll see there's a really cool move here. Tony's elbow's on the ball, and he's pushing up a dumbbell, and that move is in the video. Um, that's a tough move. I'll tell you what it's called. It's called crawly crab. Um, yeah, crawly crab press. So yeah, this is of those three, as I said, this is my favorite of the three. Although they're all about the same, you're all kind of doing the same thing. And in fact, there's a lot of moves that are shared between the three. You're either just changing up between, are you doing it on the stability ball or the medicine ball or on nothing? Okay, so that's really the difference. On this one, you're using a lot more of the stability ball, but you're still getting down on the ground on the medicine balls, which is challenging. I mean, um, yeah, I like this workout a lot. It's 21 moves, and he doesn't waste a lot of time. He's gonna show you the move, do a quick demo, and then you're gonna be doing the move for a minute or a minute and a half. The warm up in this one is 12 minutes. It's the same warm up as X2, total body, except you're just doing it a little bit quicker because he's really not teaching you so much. You should know it by day 5. So you're doing the same warm up, and the cool down is 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And one thing about these 3 workouts, and it's in this one too, in the very last set, you're doing a set of burpees. And on this one, you're doing dumbbell burpees. So you got dumbbells in both hands, and you're doing burpees on one leg. In X2 core, you're doing burpees on one leg, but you're holding the medicine ball. And let me think, is there burpees in total body? Probably. It's just not coming to my mind. Well, you're doing a mule kick burpee, so you're not using a ball, but what you're doing is you're going down on your hands, and then you're like kicking your feet up in the air, both of them, and then you're doing a burpee. Okay, so that's P90X2 balance and power. All right, the next disc is X2 recovery and mobility, and here you got Tony. He's doing the foam rolling, and that's basically what this is. In the middle of the workout, you're doing from head to toe, you're doing foam rolling for about 25 or 30 minutes. They call it recovery and mobility because that's really the benefit of the program. You're allowing your body to recover doing the foam rolling, and you're working on your mobility using the foam rolling. There's some yoga at the beginning where you're doing 3 quick vinyasas, 3 or 4. And then you're doing like these mobility moves where you're doing single leg touchdowns. You're doing like a squat and a press. And the idea is you're sort of like identifying where all the kinks are in your body by doing these moves up front. And then the foam rolling helps you to figure out what you're going to concentrate on rolling out. And with foam rolling, what Tony says, you're not rolling out your muscle like it's a dough, like you're doing a rolling pin. What you're doing is you're trying to identify where the hot spots are or where the knots are, and you're just like holding the foam roller on that for. I usually do like a slow 10 count. And what that helps to do is break up the knot, but also break up all the lactic acid that's built up in your body. So there's some yoga in here, there's some foam rolling, there's some mobility, there's some recovering, and then the last 15 minutes or so is stretching. And so you can't call this X2 yoga, recovery, mobility, stretching, and no, they just call it X2 recovery and mobility. It's a great workout. It's 57 minutes long, and you're doing, like I said, from head to toe. So I enjoy it, and I end up substituting this a lot throughout the year on Sundays. Okay. All right, now with the next disc, we're sort of moving into phase 2, which is the strength phase. Although I'm not going to talk too much about the phases, but you use these discs in phase 2, and then you use plyocyte and yoga and X2 recovery and mobility. The next one is chest and back plus balance. Okay, and you're gonna see right away there's Tony Horton doing what's called 4 medicine ball push-ups, and yeah, that's in here. Okay, this disc is hard. So the whole idea behind doing total body and core and balance and power is to get yourself ready to do a workout like this, because in this you're trying to blast your chest and your back. Yeah, the back stuff is all pull-ups and chin-ups, and you're doing these really hard kind of pull-ups and chin-ups like levers and he calls them vaulters, where you're kind of like going from side to side like that. So yeah, the chin-ups are the chin-ups and the pull-ups are the pull-ups. But then the chest moves are all these very difficult medicine ball and stability ball type moves. Now you can always substitute by just using the floor, or you can accept the challenge and use the balls. And you're going to do lower reps, and because you're not going to be able to do that many right off the bat. And what the lower reps mean is you're just working yourself harder, right? Because every one is like a max rep. That's what it feels like. For instance, there's this move in there called the impossible, which is, you're holding the medicine ball and your feet are up on the stability ball and you're trying to do push-ups. And I say try because you're really just trying. The most I can do is 4 or 5. Now Tony's doing like, he gets on the ball and he does like 10 or 15 of those, and You know, he can do 44 med ball push-ups, and you know, I've worked myself way up to a lot of those, but really this is a challenging workout, and you're really gonna like it, promise. All right, the next strength phase workout is shoulders and arms, and like this is your reward for the week. So the idea here is you're working your shoulders, your biceps, and your triceps, and it's one of those where you do 7 moves, and then you repeat it on the other leg, and then you repeat it again. And the third time you're like switching off your legs, or you could just do it with both legs. Then you're not getting the benefit of the stability training so much if you're just doing one leg. So the pattern in this one is curl, Arnold press, overhead tricep pull. So that's skull crushers. Okay, 6 direction shoulder flies, crazy 8s, flies, shoulder flies, and then tricep kickback. So yeah, you're doing 21 moves. You got a really nice warm up, just like all of them, except you're foam rolling your upper body. So you're really foam rolling up your triceps really good in your chest and your back. You want that all loose and all the knots gone. So yeah, that warm up is about 12 minutes, and then the cool down is about 6 minutes. And it's a really good cool down. You know, he's got you on your hands and knees, and you're working your with your hands on the ball. So shoulders and arms, man, it's everybody's favorite. Who doesn't like just banging away with dumbbells? I mean, that's usually the best program. In any program, it's the best workout. And then when you're done, you do ab ripper X too. So this is shoulder and arms. All right, the next disc is P90X2 base and back. And you'll see again, it's got ab ripper X on there. You see in the picture, Tony Horton is, he's doing a pull-up. And this one's pretty standard for the back part is pull-ups, but you're doing pull-ups and chin-ups. And you're doing some vaulters, I think, and some mixed grip chin-ups. So it's good. It's your typical. And in this one, you're doing, and the base part of it is plyometrics. Okay, and so that's what's really an improvement here for base and back is you do a plyo and then you do a pull-up. What that does is it gets your heart really up doing the jumping, and then you do pull-ups, so like now you're doing this really powerful strength move, and that slows your heart down, and then you start doing jumping again, right? And then your heart gets really up. But you're really working your butt and your hamstrings in this, and then your back. So you're working your whole back, and that's why it's called base and back. And I like this one a lot. I remember the first time I did it, I was just winded. I mean, I can remember, this is going back to the first time I did P90X2 is at the end of 2012. I was winded and just gasping for air. But I love it. That warm-up is really long at 14 minutes. And I always just, I do the stuff with the stability balls, and then I foam roll my legs. I don't even foam roll my back. I just focus on my legs to get them nice and loose. Honestly, you don't want to get your back too loose, because I've noticed if I foam roll my back out too much, I can't do as many pull-ups then. But I don't know why that is, but that's just what it seems like. So I just focus on the legs. And then there's like an 11-minute cool down at the end, which is great. And you're doing that neuro-integrated stretching again. So base and back, I love it. I endorse it. Excellent workout. All right, now we've got a couple advanced discs here. And this one I got it was a bonus, or I paid extra for it. But this is P90X2 chest, shoulders, and triceps. But look at what Tony's doing, right? He's got his foot on the ball, and he's got his other leg up in the air, and he's got his hands on 2 medicine balls. And that is called 3-ball dips. Now, on a good day, I can do like 8 or 10 of those. That's how hard it is. And like I said, you're doing push-ups with the chest on medicine balls and stability balls. And the shoulder stuff you're doing on one leg, um, or you're laying on the ball funny. And the triceps is the same thing, but what you're doing here is because you're doing all these moves on the balls, it's lower reps because you can't hold yourself for that long, and you're less stable, and you're working the whole kinetic chain. And this is a super advanced workout. I like this workout a lot. Um, in fact, I'm doing it today. I got some things to do, and then in a couple hours, I'm going to pop this disc in and do it. And um, I'll tell you what I don't like about it. The very first move is called Chaturanga, and you do it twice because this is another one of those workouts where you do it repeats itself. So you do 3, and then you do 3, okay, and then you do 3, and then you have a break, and then you repeat those 9 workouts. So there's 18 moves here. There's a quicker cooldown in this one of 4 minutes, but with Chaturanga, you start in you start in plank, you come down to Chaturanga, you go into Sphinx, and then you come back to Chaturanga, and then you go back up to push-up. That's hard. The most I can do of those is like, on a good day, 10. One time I did 11 or 12. I mean, low reps means you're really working hard, and that means you're really challenging your body, and you're working that whole kinetic chain. So chest, shoulders, triceps, one of my all-time favorites. V-Sculpt is the base and back workout for P90X2. And you'll see Tony, he's in the bands. He's in a plank with one arm, and he's got the bands. And that's essentially what V-Sculpt is. It's back and biceps. So you're doing pull-ups and biceps, and you're just rotating them through the rest of the workout. In some cases, you're using bands because he wants you to. In other cases, you're using dumbbells, but you could go all the way with dumbbells or all the way with bands, and it would be fine. This one has a 13-minute warm-up and a 4-minute cool down at the end, where you're doing a lot of the same cool down stretches using the stability ball. It's 53 minutes overall, and it's 22 moves, and it's always back biceps. So that's a little bit different from its predecessor. But this is also a super advanced workout. So in some cases, you're in plank and you've got your hand on a stability ball, and you're doing a row or a curl. The pull-ups are all the advanced kind, so you're like doing around the world or different grips, like mixed grip or the vaulter kind. Okay. And this one kind of goes along with chest, shoulders, triceps for X2. So these are the 2 advanced discs, and you can, the way the fitness manual describes it is you can do it in phase 2 when you do the strength phase, and you could substitute chest and back and triceps or SHARMs, or the way I do it, I like to do it more like traditional P90X. So I'll do that. I'll talk about that in another video. Okay, so this is X2 V-Sculpt, and then X2 ab worker is on the end. The next disc is P90X2 ab ripper, or ab ripper X2, or X2 ab ripper is what I generally call it. Now this is another 16.5-minute ab routine. You're generally either sitting on the floor or you're laying on the floor using your legs to work those abs. And it's different from ab ripper X. I won't go through the nuances, but you don't necessarily have to work your core and your lower back and your abs so hard in P90X2 because you're working that kinetic chain in every workout. So this one I generally think is a little bit easier than some other ab workouts, but that's why I like it too, because I don't mind doing it 3 days a week and I don't get bored of it, and I don't feel like it's killing me. So P90X2 ab ripper, it's also on total body, it's on SHARMs, chest, back, and balance, V-Sculpt, and I think that's all of them. Yeah, so it follows them naturally at the end of the workout, but also they give it to you on a separate disc. So that's P90X2 Overview. Now I'm going to talk about these two at the same time. So you got PAP upper and PAP lower. And PAP, so PAP is that acronym I was talking about earlier, post activation potentiation, and it's generally like the pliocyte disc. But with pliocyte, you're really just working your legs. So I would say legs includes your butt, hamstrings, quads, and even calves to a certain extent. But with PAP lower, you're doing your legs, but then you're also working your hips and your core a little bit. So the sequence in PAP lower is different. Remember, the post activation potentiation is you take a strength move and you do a bunch of reps, and sometimes they're holding weights, sometimes they're not. Okay, and they're like different kinds of squats or lunges. And then the second move is the plyo move. So once you do your strength move, you do a plyometric move. So like a jump, or a squat jump, or a lunge jump, or something like that. Okay, and you're doing a lot. So you're doing a lot of squats and then a lot of jumps. And then these are put together in complexes. At least that's what Tony calls it. So a complex is a group of 4 moves. And in PAP lower, you're doing like a power move, a plyometric move, and then something where you're holding your hips or your core up and to work those stabilizer muscles in there. Okay, and there are you do the complex once and then you repeat it 3 times for a total of 4. So you do complex A, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you do a second complex, 4 different moves, and you do that 4 times. So these are about, I think these are about an hour long. I'm gonna say this one's about 62 minutes. The lower one's really hard, and there's this one ridiculous move where you get up into side plank and you got to hold that for, I want to say 30 seconds. It could be longer than that, but it's hard. The first time you ever do it, it's hard. You're gonna fail. PAP upper follows the same idea, but for the strength moves, you're usually doing like some kind of military press or a pull up, and then the plyometric move is like a clapper push up or a I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I've done it. It's not coming to me off the top of my head, but you're following that same idea of post activation potentiation. So you do a power move, plyometric move, and then a couple of stabilizer moves. The stabilizer moves in PAP upper are really mean. So one is you're holding Superman for a ungodly amount of time, like a full minute, and that hurts. But you're also doing like a Sphinx plank with your foot up on medicine ball, and that's also it's very challenging to get through that. Um, I would say the first time I did it, I could barely do it at all. But as you practice that, you start to get better at it. So you got PAP lower, which is great, and PAP upper. I want to say it's about 55 minutes if I'm remembering. I've got these 2 next month, so they're on my radar. I'm already thinking about how I'm going to get through it. But the post-activation potentiation, and what this phase is in P90X2 is it's the athletic phase. All right, so that's PAP. Okay, so that is the rundown on the P90X2 workouts, and P90X2. If I haven't said this already, this is the most challenging program I've ever done, but it's also the funnest. It's the most fun program I've ever done. It's the one that I look forward to doing the most because, like I said earlier, it feels like you're not just exercising or working out, but like you're training, like you're in a real professional training program. And that's just sort of like the value of these at-home workout programs is it's professionally done by professional trainer, and it's the at-home application of what professional athletes do. And that's why it's cool. And uh, if you want to dig in deeper into P90X2, there's still some old videos up on YouTube. I mean, this is an old program now, going back to 2011. But if you do some research, you'll find Tony Horton and John and Carl, the Beachbody executives, talking about it, why they did it and why they formulated it and how. And they hired this doctor named Dr. Marcus Elliott out of a lab called P3 in Southern California. And he's got like all these professional athletes, baseball, basketball, football players, track athletes, tennis players from all over the world. Go check out the site, P3. But I've heard in these different YouTube interviews where Dr. Marcus Elliott's talking about what is, he'd have these athletes coming in and saying, "Oh, I've just got done doing P90X and it's the best thing I've ever done." Like a lot of professional athletes have said that it's better than the programs they were doing for their own sports teams. That's how advanced P90X was. P90X2 is more of that, but it's even better because you're working yourself harder. It's more modern with the medicine balls, the stability balls, and you got the foam rolling element in it. It's just a fun program to do, and like I said, you really feel like you're training for something that's next level, like the Olympics or football or something like that. So I highly recommend it. Like I said, I think this is I think I'm currently in my 11th round right now. And I'm going to continue to do it until someone tells me I can't do it anymore, which I don't see anytime soon. Just mix these up all together. And by the way, the P90X, they all work well together, so you can sort of hybrid, substitute. Now, there is one gap with this program in that there isn't like a really good extra cardio disc. Like some days you just want to do something different, like you're not up to the challenge of whatever is on the menu for that day. So I wish there was a P90X2 cardio, or at least some disc I could substitute with. So if I were to say that this program's missing any one thing, it's that. Okay, I guess you could just do a yoga day or whatever, but or substitute some other workout. All right, well, I think that's about it. So we'll wrap this up. P90X2 is a 90-minute fitness program. It's made by Beachbody in 2011, and it's another just an outstanding program by Tony Horton. And I'm not trying to sell this to you, but just talk about my experience and what I like about the discs and what I don't like. And if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or you can send me a message. But I think that's it. Maybe later on I can do a more deep dive or a breakdown of each disc. But I think, proof is in the pudding. Just try it out for yourself. And thanks, everybody. Like and subscribe.